So yeah, we have a bird's nest in the wall, and a chick fell out the nest. So there's a mother chick on the fence. It was just sitting there. Normally, when it sees a human, it buggers off, but it was sitting there for ages, and I realised that's weird. And then I look on the floor, and the little chick is hopped out the nest, and he's just sitting on the floor. Anyway. So I take him indoors. I put him on my head like a little parrot, and I have a little play with him. And I take him outside, and then the mother chick continues to bring the worm. And what I realise is looking at this little chick and how when it cheeps, the mother chick comes past, and the mother chick happens to know exactly where the chick is. Like it went behind my shed, and I had to go on top of the shed and get a big log and kind of force him out because he couldn't get out. I just find it amazing how like the mother chick knew where the chick was, and this give and take of service, I'm happy, service, I'm happy. And you literally look at our parents, you look at everything in nature. It's the same damn thing, and it's amazing to watch this little chick just going, and then mother chick comes along with the worm. It really is phenomenal.
That is so beautiful, and that's beautiful that the mother still accepted the chick back, because I've heard that sometimes if a human interacts with them, the mother rejects the chick. That's so fun.
Yeah, so I thought the mother had just disappeared for good because it hadn't been around for a bit, and so we are thinking, okay, we need to find a worm. I put water on a plate for it and put it under the bench. Anyway, the mother chick came back. It was just on the fence. But yeah, I thought it abandoned it. It's like if you move out, our parents kind of they put our bedroom into a computer room, for example, because you're not supposed to come back. So I thought, well, the chick's left the nest. Mother chick's gone off to find another family, but it did come back. It's a nice little story.
I feel that even with my parents, I recently moved back home, and they've welcomed me back with open arms, and it's been a really great like healing experience since our parents are our first relationship with everything in the world, and just we absorb like all of their conditioning, and now it's been really helping heal my relationship with everyone, healing that relationship.
Yeah, I moved out to London for the first time. I didn't plan to move out. I moved out within a week. I just left, and then I came back, and you really appreciate them so much more because they're here. You can't do anything. You can't have any girls over. You can't have your TV loud. It's for fuck's sake. I went to move out, and you move out, and it's like, oh my God, this thing I've had in my life for 27 years. That energy, that love, when it's not there, you feel it when it's gone. It's like if you have a log fire in the garden, and it's like it's not really boiling hot, but it's how cold it would be without the log fire, and that's when you realize that heat is actually making a difference, and it takes you like to move out to really appreciate something, and it's like near death experience. You need to have one to really appreciate life, until you really have like till you've been to the bottom. You always will take things for granted. It's just how it works. It's like you have to go through pain in order to be stronger. It just seems to be how life works. Like diamonds are formed under pressure. Same thing, innit?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's kind of like a Native American proverb that we carve our bowl of happiness with a knife of sadness. And the deeper we go with that sadness, the deeper our capacity for joy. And then also that crying and laughing is the same muscle.
You know blue light glasses, right? So I presume the reason why blue light is bad is because the sun's like a red light, and so it's not natural light. Is that why they call it blue light? Because it's not a natural light like fire or flame or sun? Is that kind of
I've heard different theories. There's a woman I follow on Instagram, the Water Priestess, and her perspective on it was that our soul is blue energy, and that when we leave our bodies in this dimension, we are basically blue, and that the blue light is kind of a way of like it's artificial and it drains our energy.
that makes it that's a real good point. That can make sense. Like it's almost like, like positive energy, negative energy. Let's say positive is yellow and negative is blue. Well, negative drains you rather than enhances you. So if that is true, then that would make sense why so many people have headaches on computers, why they're so tired, why they're so stressed, why they rub their eyes, why they squint. I used to be on my computer all night. Like when I was enlightened at 21, I used to live on my computer like from 8 in the afternoon, 8 in the evening, to 5 in the morning. I was just online doing stuff, and hours would pass by. I used to be strained, twitchy. My eyes used to hurt. My brain used to hurt. And I realise now it's just all this fake light going into my eyes. Like my eye muscles aren't even really flexing. It's just the same distance. And it's all this fake light going into my eyes, which shouldn't really be there because it's middle of the night and there is no sun. And I just think that so many people are fucking up their eyes with strain from phone, computer, and everything, and even just TVs. Like at night time when they haven't got when the sun's gone in, they're watching TV. That light is just it isn't good. It's everywhere, but it's just not good.
I completely agree. And I feel as recently getting the blue light glasses myself that it's made me a lot more intentional whenever I use my phone or my computer, that I have to have these blue lenses to really see through. And it also correlates with my life and just that I really try to see through the lens, look and source and appreciation. And if something's not matching that lens, that vibration and frequency, I try to adjust it and see it from a higher perspective or switch to something that I can appreciate until I can go back to that subject with that frequency.
I believe that um, people wearing glasses, it's all man-made. So, for example, man creates a problem, man finds a solution. If we weren't straining our eyes and like you're supposed to look far away to see like mountains, and if there's like sailors coming or pirates, whatever, yeah, to see if there's any danger, and you're supposed to look up close to like the fire to cook your food. It's that constant back forward. These days, it's just our phone, like I don't know, 6 inches in front of us, and our eyes don't do anything.
Mm.
And so now when you go outside, you can't see. So what you do is you wear glasses when you say driving, and now because your eyes are looking through magnifying lens further away, you can't see anything when you're looking close. So now you need glasses for looking close. And it's like if we understood why our eyes are doing that in the first place, we wouldn't need glasses. Like I always say, do you ever see jungle men, like African black jungle men with like glasses? No, they're climbing trees, getting the honey from the bees' nest. They're jumping into the ocean. They ain't got glasses. They've not got bloody shampoo and it doesn't exist. So why is it that everyone wears glasses? And when I see a family like of young people, like 6, 7 year old boys wearing glasses, I look at the mum also wearing glasses and the dad wearing glasses. I'm like, you are the damn problem. You are the problem. You are buying and following this system of you need to be this, you need to do that, you need to have medicine, you need your vitamin D, you need to get a university degree, and you need to wear glasses. And you're following the pattern of literally feeding big corporations, and then the more you depend on these people, the more you need them, and their eyes are going to be weak for the rest of their life, and they have no idea. Like when you're born, there's no reason for your eyes to be fucked, especially two siblings, just because when he went to the opticians he says, yes, your eyes are kind of weak. Here's some glasses. Rather than asking, why are your eyes weak? And him saying, because I watch TV all day, because I play Xbox all day, because I'm on the iPad watching
Mm.
shit all day. Oh no, we'll just give you glasses because your eyesight's shit. Everything's never about the problem. It's about a temporary solution, which is obviously money. Hang on, it's
For example, I
frozen.
don't really believe that there's a source of disease. I just believe that there's not.
You can continue, it's back.
Uh,
Are you in a place of good Wi-Fi? 'Cause it keeps cutting.
I believe. Okay, let me see if I can switch to the hotspot on my phone because it's raining here, so that might be affecting the connection.
Oh, okay. That yeah, it's because it's raining.
Okay.
I didn't hear what you said for the last 15 seconds, so you might have to repeat that.
Okay, one moment. Thank you for your patience.
It's fine.
Okay, how is it now?
I mean, I'll only be able to know over over speaking, so let's just see how it is. Yeah. Anyway, so say what you're saying for the last 15 seconds because I heard nothing.
Okay, so I was saying that I don't really believe that there's a source of disease. I just think that there's not allowing wellness, And with every problem, physical ailment, anything, I believe that there's a spiritual correlation. So, for instance, with young children wearing glasses, I have heard that or read that it has to do with perhaps in the family not wanting to see certain things. Like if there's problems with the parents fighting, it's kind of a defense mechanism to protect the child. And then also, if you like, I forget the difference between far-sighted or nearsighted, but it has something to do with either seeing things too closely, like in the like being way too focused on the either past or future with either way. And I also believe that there's anything that we can heal from. For instance, I have a really good friend who has worn glasses most of her life, and she's very into manifestation. And she thought, well, okay, if I'm manifesting all these things, why can't I manifest better eyesight? So each day she started doing affirmations of, I see more clearly, my eyesight's improving. And when she went to the eye doctor, her vision had improved by 40%. And I have another friend who in Hawaii, his glasses broke the first week he was there, and he was there for a year, and so he just had to adapt without that and stop using that crutch, and his eyesight just
Hang on, it went robotic. Hang on a sec. It went robotic. Wait a sec, I'll let you know when it comes back. Hang on. Okay,
Hello?
yeah, you're back now. Say that last bit again, 15 seconds. So you went, he didn't, he forgot his glasses, and then he what?
Oh yes, thank you so much. So yeah, he forgot his glasses and he went to Hawaii, and so he was there for about a year, or I actually broke the first week he was there. And during that time, he had to learn to cope without the crutch of the help with the glasses, and his vision improved that year greatly.
Yeah,
So
so
I believe that there's hope.
yeah, I believe I can heal anyone's eyesight. I believe I have that ability. Just like I believe I can heal cancer with my hands. Like I know how it all works. Somebody I know, she wore glasses since she was 6 years old, and I was like, that is the reason why you can't see because you started off wearing them so young. And I was like, I could heal your eyesight, but she would have to want me to heal it. So she's willing to
Mm,
do what I say. Otherwise, you'll always revert back believing, oh, what do you mean you can heal eyesight? Of course you can't. Because if you could, then why I'm wearing glasses and it's like a whole new fucking, you don't understand. Let's just forget I even said it. But yeah, um, same as disease, cancer, dementia. If you don't use your brain's going to get weak. Dementia. So you use your brain, do word searches, no problem. Like bloody Queen of England, Prince Philip, they're in the 95. They got more energy than bloody 50-year-olds like our parents. They're smarter, they're switched on than our parents. What does that even say? You look at world leaders, people like very top of their game, politicians, why are they all so old? People in like Senate, because their brain is active all day, every single day. Literally, they're all old. Not, it's not a coincidence. It's just because their brains are active, so they're smart. But yeah, the eyesight thing, it's exactly the same thing. I told my dad I could hear your eyesight, and he was like, "I'd rather you not, in case you fuck it up completely." And it's like, well, I can't do it. Like, if you don't want me to heal you, I can't. It's like I could heal people. I want to do experiments when I eventually do like public speaking. I want to do like experiments where I say people don't wear your glasses, and then when you go out in the morning, I want you to stay out and look around the sun for say 20 minutes, and then don't use any TV after dark. I want you to look close and look far away, look close, look far away. You're building a muscle like you're building your muscles in the gym. It's the same thing. It doesn't happen overnight. And your eyesight will improve. Like, if, as you said, your mate didn't have any glasses, he suddenly could see, and it makes you wonder, why the fuck did I even need these in the first place? And then, as I said, it goes
mm,
back to what was he doing back then? Probably reading all the time, reading in the dark, reading in, and they're reasons why your eyes were weak. So when you go to the opticians, he's like, oh, yeah, you can't see this, we'll give you glasses. He hasn't even asked why you can't see, because you've been reading in the dark all day. And that seems to be the same with everything, like everything, food, disease, medicine. It's why I like speaking about this is so important, because it shows people that there's a whole new opposite world to the world you think exists. And actually, we are right, and what you think you know is wrong, because you're sold nonsense just so people could make literally everything money. Like my mum bought this spider spray because the spiders don't like the smell, so you spray it around the windowsills. And and she says, it keeps the spiders out. So I'm doing an experiment. I've sprayed it on the fence outside where there was cobwebs. I've sprayed it just to see if there's like spiders. Because if there's cobwebs there, then it's like nonsense, and it's just a coincidence how there was no spiders. There could be no spiders
Mm.
with you spray it or not. So I'm doing a little experiment, and the point I'm getting at is that pretty much everything that's man-made doesn't really solve anything. It's an illusion that because you've bought something based on the fact that it might, that you look for those signs, and you were like oblivious to what isn't there. It's like, the glasses of the mum. It could be psychological things like you're trying to hide your kids from something. If you're a parent at school who feels threatened by other parents, then you like put like a persona on your kids so they're different. So people who have glasses are smart. My kid's a smart kid. My kid's going to be a doctor. Your kids are a nuisance. So you make your like it's an ego thing. So people who, but it's not a coincidence. It's not people who wear glasses are smart. It's that people who wear glasses often read a lot, and if you read a lot, you become smart. That's why they're smart. It's not they're smart because they're wearing glasses. It's literally everything's back to front. It's like, quantum physics. When you observe it, it collapses and it becomes a wave. Everything's back to front. You know what I mean?
I completely resonate with that. And also it's all that you believe, right? Since we create a reality. So if your mom believes that the spray will work, if they believe that their child will be smarter, then that's what will be so. But it goes with studies of the placebos. For a drug to pass, it only has to be 5% better than the placebo, which is really small, and usually it's pretty close. And even with antidepressants, like only 50% of it works for people, and the placebos, usually work even better because we can, make all of our own pharmaceuticals as well.
Yeah, it's almost like, we have telepathy. People years and years ago, Jesus, let's meet at the beach at this time, at this sunset, and they'd be at the beach together. That's telepathy. And yet you got people like Elon Musk creating bloody earpieces to do the same thing. I'm like, you're so close to what we already have. Like, we have it next door to us, and yet you're going around the whole world to bring it here. And I had a vision. I still have this vision. When I build a big following, I can literally put out one tweet and be like, look, we're all gonna meditate at this time on this particular thing, or we're all gonna take off our glasses, or we're all gonna do this, we're all gonna just like bath in the dark or not wear products, like a kind of a global mass experiment, where you got people around the world doing the same thing, and just like sharing their like, don't take your meds and take this sugar thing instead. If you can't walk, you can walk. As if your last thought is you can't walk, then you won't be able to walk. But if their last thought is me saying you can fucking walk, mate, get up and walk, then it's the same damn thing. We're just reprogramming that mind. And I have these visions of just kind of like a mass do this, and you'll see. And then it's like, oh my god, like I do still have this vision. And it's like my plan is to like awaken the world.
Yeah, I love that, and I love that vision. I see that for you. I see it growing, and you being able to help uplift people on a mass scale. And oh, I just lost my thought. Let's see. Can you give me a buzz of what we
Yes,
were
I was
speaking?
saying that I can't wait to have the platform to just put out something out there, and then people follow and like a mass thing happens. So mass meditation, mass eating a certain diet for 3 weeks. So literally everyone around the world is eating a certain diet and they feel incredible after. Call it a keto diet, whatever. Has that triggered it?
Okay, yes, yes. So I was saying that like with the Kant perspective, on the emotional scale, usually at a minimum, I like to dwell in hope, because hope is right above pessimism and below optimism, but at a very minimum hope. And so with someone who can't walk, perhaps even being you can be like, can you hope that you can? Can you hope that you can walk? Can you hope that you can see without glasses? Can you hope that you can adjust? Can you hope for a brighter future? Because from hope we can get so far.
Yeah, hope is essentially believing that your light doesn't work, and you say, doesn't work, there's no point turning it on. Sit down, doesn't fucking work, bulb's gone. I'm like, look, let me just turn it on. There's a chance it might work. Flick it on. Oh, 7 years I've not touched that light and I've been in the dark. I thought the bulb went, you fucking idiot. All you have to do is press the button. So it's the same as when a doctor says you've got 6 months to live, terminally ill cancer. What's killing them is their belief that they've got 6 months to live. And it's not a coincidence how they die pretty much on the sixth month. Right, that really pisses me off because it's like I could get in there and like reprogram your mind, give you a new diet, give you a new belief system, rewire. I could literally reprogram that person and they would come back and shove a fork up that doctor's ass. And I don't blame the doctor. He's only saying what he is being told by his colleagues and his professors, and he is in the industry to care. Like he's a nurse, he's caring, he's doing good. So you can't hate the nurse, you can't hate the person who's following the nurse. Someone like you and me, no qualifications. What the fuck are you on about? She's going to die in 6 months. What do you mean you can heal her? It's like you're fighting a buffalo and you're not going to win. So it's tricky because it's like you need to go around the other way. You can't literally say to them in the last dying seconds, look, this is nonsense. Forget what you're saying. Go on holiday, skydive, like just dance.
Yeah.
Imagine you're 16, play music, go fuck a load of people, like make yourself feel good. Sitting in that bed thinking I'm gonna die is only gonna make you feel like shit, and then you will die because you feel like shit. And it's like, how do you repair that? And you think about 3 in 1 people or 1 in every 3 people around the world have cancer. Just see how much negative energy is out there. That's not a coincidence. Like their diet, their sleep, their unhappiness. Those are the reasons why everyone is getting disease. Not just cancer, but heart disease, diabetes, dementia. It's all the same thing about this default belief of a negative thing that you think exists because your parents believed it, their parents believed it. And it's just like, where the fuck, where did this even come from? Like, who told you that you can't eat um, beef raw? Like, what do you think? Like a medium rare steak is? It's raw. Middle bit's raw. The out's cooked. So why can't you just kind of eat it raw? Because you're eating raw anyway. So it's like, oh, it's a good point actually. Just because the top bit's cooked and the middle bit isn't doesn't mean you know what I mean. So yeah, there's too many people to heal, but you
And that's what's so wonderful is everyone can heal themselves, like with the tools. And it's really, about being open to it because even when I do energy work or massage or anything, I let them know that, okay, I either shifted on the physical, I shifted on the energetic, but it's mind, body, soul is connected in a cycle. And so now I've shifted these two, and the only thing left is your mind. Like, are you willing to let this go? Because if not, it's just going to stay there. With cancer, if you keep cutting it out with the medical procedures, it will just keep coming back unless you address. And something I've learned or read about with cancer is that it's related to resentment in the body and things that you're holding on to. And then pain in the body in general is about guilt and according to the Course in Miracles, anytime that you feel pain in the body, it's a chance to look around and say, okay, who do I need to forgive? Myself, others? And a forgiveness practice I've been doing is that knowing that if they could have shown up differently, they would have. And the same goes for me. And they're just reacting from their levels of consciousness.
yeah, it's crazy for me because, for example, you look at say someone who's 50 or whatever, right? They get cancer or whatever, and they have chemo, and the doctor says it's gone, and then they go back to living there. Let's just say that it was smoking related, and they stop smoking, right? And then so they stop smoking, but they still drink alcohol. They still get 6 hours sleep. They're still eating their shitty microwave processed food diet. They're still arguing with their husband or their wife. They're stressed. They're angry. They don't dust their house, so there's just dust and nonsense everywhere. They don't change their bed sheets. I'm like, you haven't done anything. You literally, as you said, cut out. It's like a verruca, right? I've got a verruca on my foot. I keep scraping off the top bit, right? And I keep thinking it's gone. It keeps growing back because I'm just scraping off the top bit. It's deeper. You got to get the fucking root, and it's really pissing me off because it just won't go. And I kind of haven't learnt my lesson because I didn't really know what verrucas were. But it's a root. So I thought, oh, if you just take off the top bit, it's gone. But it's those dots are the blood vessels. So you got to go to the bottom. So you look at these people who get the chemo, whatever, and the cancer's gone. Okay, you've destroyed those negative cells, but yet you're going back to your diet and your lifestyle, which is why your body was in that vibration in the first place. Like the cells are vibrating on a positive vibration. You keep regenerating them, and then the old ones die, and the new ones are replaced. If you're feeling shitty and negative, cells won't grow in a negative state body. And so, as you said, just shooting the chemo to kill those cells, the rest of your body's still in that vibration. That's gonna put it back into that state. Like the verruca, I cut the top bit off, and then the bottom it just grows again. It's like when you're weeding in the garden, you just pull the top bit off. Oh, I can't see it. The weed's gone. No, the root's there. You've got to fucking dig the root down. And that's what everyone does, is they pick off the top bit. Oh, the cancer's gone. Doctor says it's all clear now. No, there's a root there. You're eating shit. That's what it was, a whole cycle. You're not sleeping, you're unhappy, watching the news all day.
Yeah, I really resonate with that, especially even with your post, I think this morning on the past and healing the past. And that's some like shadow work I've been doing recently of going to the root of an emotion. For example, feeling unloved and going all the way to the root of my like deep childhood of when I first really felt that emotion and allowing that to be crying, whatever I need to release. And I did that recently and it shifted everything, all the timelines, because there was sometimes a reoccurring thought that when everything was going bad, that everyone hated me. And it was just a reflection of myself. And pulling that, I realized that, okay, of course I knew consciously that everyone, I have many friends and they didn't hate me, but in those states when you're feeling that, it feels like that is truth. And pulling out that root just shifted all the timelines, and every moment I felt like that since then. All those weeds and wildflowers.
Yeah, at 21 when I was enlightening, I healed myself in 3 weeks, and the reason why it was so quick is because I used to listen to all these YouTube videos on autoplay all through the night. So, like 8 hours of everything you can even imagine: quantum physics, law of attraction, meditation, shadow work, healing, every damn thing. And then I used to get up the next day and just do it. And I remember, like as you said, like now, 21 years old, going into my mindset, imagining me being 8 and how that person did this thing to me, and then grieving and crying and letting it out, which I didn't then, as if I was that person then. My body doesn't know the difference whether I'm 27 or not. That's a government man-made number. So I used to go back and then grieve that situation. Like if I liked a girl, I'd be like, "Why did we never chat?" And she was like, "Well, you never asked me." And I was like, "You're damn right, I didn't ask you. Like I was presumed you didn't, and like everyone hated me, so you weren't going to be interested." So essentially, all your unanswered thoughts, you have to go back and answer them. So people who try and move forward all the time, they relapse. You have to go back into the past because it is your present and it will haunt you. People dream about their past. Even like adults, 50, 60 years old, they dream about stuff that happened years ago. That's because they haven't dealt with it. You can laugh about the dream. That's an issue. Like that is telling you something. Why do you grind your teeth? There's issues like that you're not addressing. So yeah, shadow work, going back to the child at 27, or as I was 21, and grieving. People are like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, why are you crying?" "Oh, this person just spat on my head." Which I mean, no one's here. No, no. When I was a kid, he spat on my head. But you're fucking kid. Like you're here now. What are you doing? And they don't understand that you're literally like you're getting a sponge and like squeezing all the water out. And if there's water in there, you've got to squeeze it. And I literally had that vision in my head as a cloth with water, and I kept squeezing it. And if there's more juice, there was more things to heal. So I'll squeeze it and squeeze it. Essentially, I'd make myself go over all the things that made me cry when I was doing shadow work. And if I was still crying thinking about it, I still hadn't really grieved it. So I'd go back and imagine my parents dying or whatever. And if I got emotions still, I'd have to really accept the fact it wasn't like I truly wasn't accepting death, and if they died, what would happen? I was kind of making myself believe I'd like grieved in my head for when it happens, but I was still not completely doing it. So you go back in your head again, and you really grieve, like what would you do if it happened, and then you cry, and eventually there's no more crying left. And I said to myself, I'm never going to cry again because people only cry when they're holding in pain. And so if I literally have healed myself completely, I will never cry again. And I haven't cried again since. And bearing in mind, I never cried at all growing up because I kept it all in, and I cried my whole life, literally when I was 21. Haven't cried since. I watch like motivational stuff, and you get a choke because it's like Kevin Hart, for example. He broke his back. He was paralyzed. Same old story. You're not going to walk again, whatever. and he 3 weeks he was like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here, and now he's back to normal. And then you get
Wow.
choked up because it's like, that's exactly what I want to preach, that just because you're told something, it's irrelevant, it's what you want. So yeah, shadow work is important.
Yeah, I completely feel that. I didn't really cry much in my childhood either. And when I was like 19 or so, 20, I cried more that year than I did in my whole life.
I
Like
cried it more
that's
in 3 weeks than I did my whole life.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just took like baths and sometimes like the water element really helped me allow the rivers to flow and that's really wild that you believe that you'll never cry again. Is that do you feel like you really have completely wrung out that towel?
So, for example, we have like happy tears and sad tears. Happy tears is like when
Mm.
you have a newborn baby, when you win a lottery. It's this overwhelming feeling of positive energy. Then the other type of tears is negative tears, where the toxins are in you and you release them through those tears. Hence why your eyes sting, whatever, when you're in pain, whatever. I believe that when you cry, you're essentially squeezing all your muscles and all the toxins out. So if you've got nothing to cry about, then there's nothing to cry about. And so if people only cry about stuff in the past, unless there's something in the present to cry about, future doesn't exist. When you have dealt with all the pain in the past, there is nothing to cry about. And so this is why people can heal themselves no matter what pain they're in. It's like I believe that if you've got pain, like a parent passed away, if you abuse or whatever, you can't change it. But with knowledge, you can understand why it happened. So why did my parent do that? Why did they do that? Like there's no, you can't justify it. But when you have answers why his parent was a prick to him, his parents abused him, I understand. Like Kevin Spacey, for example, he was doing it to young people. His parent abused him, and it seems to be this cycle of you're punishing yourself by doing it to somebody else, but you're punishing yourself by kind of it's a vicious cycle. It's like you see yourself as your dad and the child punishing you, and it is yeah. And so if you heal yourself from all the pain, and you've actually gone through everything, you've not like you've undone every single carpet. Like you have to go through everything. Like I remember forcing myself to cry. Like I'd think about a topic like my grandma passing away, whatever. I'd literally force myself to cry by doing this facial expression of like it's like a act of
Mm.
crying. You can trick yourself into like and you create tears and then you kind of force those tears out and then you go through emotion more. And as I said, it was like draining this cloth until there was nothing left. And I kept doing that, thinking about my parents passing away until there was nothing left to cry about. I'd gone through all the bullying. I forgave everyone in my head. I healed every. I healed myself in my head. I invited them out for dinner, and when we had a nice time, I healed everyone, forgave everyone, and yes, I believe I will never cry again because if I've got no pain now, and the pain is based on the past, as long as I don't put myself in pain now, I won't cry again. If I was to intentionally go down a path where my parents passed away and I didn't grieve, then yeah, that would be pain, and I'll be the cycle all over again. But as long as you deal with pain in that moment, no matter what it is, you won't cry again. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, I really love that, and I believe that since you did release it all, because I in Joe Dispenza terms, like I believe that thoughts are an electric charge and emotions are a magnetic charge. But if we still have those dormant emotions of things we haven't dealt with, we're just gonna keep attracting it. Like if we're still feeling guilty about something, we're gonna keep attracting situations that make us feel guilty, and with all the emotions. So I believe that if you fully have released all those emotions that you won't attract them anymore and that you'll just completely have happy tears the rest of your life. That's really inspiring to me.
That's the thing. I'm all about practicing what I preach. I hold myself accountable. I can't preach and tell people how to live their life if I'm not doing it myself. I can't say, like, for example, you should be eating this or getting this amount of sleep if secretly I'm not getting the same amount of sleep. You lose credibility. Like so many
Mm.
people, they preach what they hear from a book or whatever. No one's really got a true story. Like that's the meaning. People connect to the story, not the person. So if you want to like help people, it's like a rich person saying, I can teach you how to be rich, and they haven't got any money. But if someone has literally come from nothing and has only made say 100 grand, it's not a million quid, but it's more realistic. So if you are practicing what you preach and you teach people what you've been through, then it can help people more. And so I know, for example, didn't have any, if I was holding on to some past issues with a relationship or bullying or someone dying, I'm lying to that person. Like now, for example, I'll be lying to you, saying that I've dealt with all my shit. Back in my head, we're going, "You lying cunt, you're lying," and I couldn't cope with that. I'd have to come clean, like because it will
Yes,
get to
yeah.
me. It's like when your dad says, "Are you lying to me?" No, I'm not. You're like, you lied to him, and you have to suddenly say, I'm sorry, I lied to you." You can't lie. So it's like I can't say something. Like for example, if I say I'm on a ketogenic diet, I am on a ketogenic diet. I have one main meal every day that's keto. But I get the voice in my head saying, "You're lying. Your mum makes a meal, and sometimes it's pasta, sometimes it's whatever." So it's almost like nothing can be, everything has to be like this or that. It has to be 100% or nothing. It's like a
Mhm.
vegetarian wanting a bit of meat every now and then. It's like, just because I'm vegetarian doesn't mean I can't have meat. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be so specific. Um, so yeah, if I had healing to do, I would feel guilty and I'd go back. But honestly, I don't. And if you do undo every knot, you are literally free forever. If you leave one knot, that rope is still knotted. Like
Mhm.
it, that, there's a little bit, there's an extension on that rope that you would gain if you undid the knot. Like you gain, say, 3 inches, whereas when it's knotted, it's all like one. So that's another 3 inches that you could grow towards. So that's why it's important to undo every single knot. Otherwise, there's no point doing any of it because if you're going forward and you're gonna have to come back, the further forward you go, the farther you're gonna have to go back to that deep knot you don't want to undo.
Mm.
It's so far back.
Yeah, yes, I thank you for so much for expressing all of that because I apologize for saying if I guess as someone who still has a good little bit of knots, it was hard for me to conceptualize someone being completely free. And so that's really inspiring to me that you have done all of that work and are in the place that you are now. And I love that you feel so called to the truth and being fully embodied and authentic with
Yeah,
everything.
I'll say something you might find amusing. I believed I was reincarnation of Jesus when I was 21. So when I was 21, I dealt with all my shit. I was serving everyone. I forgave everyone. I didn't care about money. Had the most amazing family. I was like, holy shit, this is what Jesus did. He forgave everyone. He led people to the light. He understood why you were bullying. I was like, because I was believing reincarnation and ghosts at that point, and I was like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, I could be Jesus. Like, I was in 2014. I was 21 on the 28th of Jan in the 21st century, and I got into my head about patterns of seven. Like Jesus was born, 21,000 years ago, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, all these patterns, they seven, 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 it all adds up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I thought, oh, maybe I was him, and I believed I was reincarnation. I was telling everyone for like a few months, and then I questioned reincarnation. If that's to do with the body, and Jesus was a physical person, I can't be the reincarnation of him. What I could be is when we have thoughts, we emit electrical pulses, and which is like a static vibration in the universe. Once you reach that frequency of consciousness, which I did, I'm tuning into his vibrations and his thoughts. So I'm picking up his thoughts. So I'm basically, it's like being hypnotized. You become, someone hypnotizes you, you can be that person. So Jesus' thoughts, I was on the same frequency, like a radio station. I was tuning in. So I was listening to, say, like, radio station, I was tuning into Jesus's thoughts. So my brain at that point, at that frequency, was the same vibration as Jesus's. So I was thinking all the stuff that he was doing, forgive and love and whatever. And as I evolved a few months later and my frequency increased, I changed the channel basically, and I wasn't him. And I realized I couldn't have been him because, as I said, it was more picking up his thoughts. You know, when you see a person, grandma dies, the spirit's still there, their personality, you feel them. It's just their thoughts, their energy's there. So Jesus's energy is still here somewhere in the universe, but once you reach a certain frequency, you attract and it becomes one. Hence why you get like people believe, like these young kids who believe they're a reincarnation of this war veteran or whatever. You're just tuning into that war veteran's last kind of known vibration. If you died now and there's a newborn yesterday, newborn tomorrow, you're similar energy in the universe. So, someone died newborn. In terms of energy, it's like frequency 9.5, frequency 9.6, frequency 9.7. It's the same area. And, he grows older and he's no clue about this war man he thought he was. But that is fascinating when you think about how you can tune into people's thoughts. I did believe in reincarnation, but I found flaws.
Yes, yeah, I was kind of curious because in some ways I think, okay, well, you know, why couldn't you be? I mean, not necessarily that you were, because I see both sides that you were tuning into his thoughts, but I also think, okay, why couldn't you be
Yeah,
a
damn
reincarnation?
right, I could be. Absolutely, like I could be. There's two sides to it. It's the science and the energy, and then there's wow, you could be. You believed you had the similar traits of like, just harmony, love, everyone's your neighbor, you love thy neighbor. You know, again, I believed I was speaking to my grandma's spirit until I realized it wasn't her. Um, Again, she could have been here, ghosts could exist, there could be a god, I could be the Jesus reincarnation. Who fucking knows? No one knows.
Yeah, and I truly believe that we're all one anyway. And when I try to tune to my highest frequency, I always tune to the remembrance that I'm source. Because even my highest self, to me, sometimes feels like another ego, because truly there's no separation. And I love what you said about the radio frequency as well, because with manifestation, I feel like more recently I've been making it an emotional journey of tuning into the frequency and the emotion that I'm interested in being on. And so one of the easiest and highest emotions to tune to is appreciation. So I've just been kind of how I mentioned in the beginning is just tuning into that channel. And if anything comes into my thoughts, my reality that makes me get off that frequency, then I either adjust it or shift my focus. And then being on that frequency, all the things that I appreciate, as the longer I maintain it, will be attracted into my reality. And I'll just be appreciating everything that comes because that'll be my practice vibration.
Yeah, that's what, gratitude practicing. It seems stupid, like, thank you for my house, thank you for my dog, thank you for the weather. If you just say it, it's like, well, this didn't do anything, right? But over time, the more you say those things, the more you think about those things, the more those words, which are vibrations, penetrate your body, and so your body goes into a new state of vibration, like of feeling amazing, like appreciation. I did a story like yesterday or whatever, which is you wake up and appreciate and be grateful for so much that you won't care about anything else because you
Mm-hmm.
want things to make yourself feel good, but you'll feel so good just like appreciate the bird at the nest, my mum, my dad, my food, my dog, whatever, that you won't really have a drive for anything because you'll feel so good with nothing. And it's dangerous because we live in a materialistic world where you need money to live, and it's like, well, it's just so peaceful just living in the forest, like walking in nature with no shoes on my feet. So so yeah, just sitting in gratitude. That's why in gratitude is so important because it just makes you feel. It puts you in a state that you want to be at all the time. Trick. It's a trick. It's a placebo effect, isn't it? Really.
It is, yeah, and I feel like yes, it is dangerous with money, but also it's not because if you're in this state of appreciation, money will just come to you. Because I believe that anything that we do just for the pure love of doing it, like for instance this podcast, what we share on Instagram, just doing it for the love, not for the idea of getting resources back, that resources will come because doing anything out of the pure love, the pure joy, the pure passion, the universe or God, source, love, it loves to support us in that, in being our true self.
Yeah, that's the thing. People want to make money to do good, for example, and yet they buy into all these schemes of how to make money, social media, online drop shipping, YouTuber, and it all comes down to like, what does a musician always say? Like, Sam Smith, his first song, "When I signed my deal, I found pressure. They want to see the numbers, I want to see heaven." Basically, he was doing it for the love, not for the money. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have money on my mind. So he's saying, he was singing for the love. You signed him because you could see money. He made loads of money, but it's not about the money. But if you do what you love, money will come because people pay for service. It's a form of trade. Thank you for teaching me. Here is a watch. Here is a lasagna. Here is a book. Here's a £10 note. It's all the same damn thing because you could sell the book for £5. It's the same as giving you 5 quid. You know. Yeah, so it took me a while to really master how can I do what I want to do because I was always chasing the money side to buy a name to then do it, and I was like, you just got to start from scratch like everyone else did. Do what you love as if you would do it forever, and there was no money, which I would do this forever. Money will come. It's hard to grasp though because your ego's like, no, you can make it quicker. you can make money. If you make money, you can advertise and make more money, and then you can promote yourself quicker. And it's like you can't buy followers, you can't buy loyalty, integrity, you can't buy people's value towards you. You can't do it. Like they're humans. They're not just like figures. They're not just numbers. They're not just followers. They're actual people. And it's hard to grasp that because everything is just physics and um, politics and numbers and stats. Like 4 million people die from the coronavirus. It's not real. Like got to really connect to each individual person.
Hmm. Yes, I completely resonate with that. And even with my work, I eventually want to just be donation based. And sometimes people could give $5, sometimes 50, 500, 5,000, and really providing that value and that service just for the pure love. And one day the person who gave $5, they may have been feeling that shifted them so much that they will donate to you again later. And just really providing it for anybody who feels resonance. And yeah, people will appreciate that.
It's interesting because I want to make so much money, obviously for me, and then once I've got what I need, I'll give it out. I never thought of donations, crazily enough. I never thought about people giving donations for me to do what I need to do. Now, there becomes a problem where, for example, you create a charity to do good, and then the chief at the top is like on a salary out of donations. Like that's wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and and you feel guilty. Like I couldn't, for example, have donations and then take a salary from that. So that's what I'm saying. If I do public speaking, I've earned that, then I can give and no one owes me anything. Whereas the donations, that would have to be purely giving out. So if I was going to go to Africa and make a little mud hut or whatever, or a water well, I couldn't use the donations to get a flight out there. You know what I mean? I'd have to use my own money to get the flight out there, use first class so I don't feel guilty, and then use the donations to build the well. Whereas if I was to use the donations for the flight and then the hotel, then it gets really tricky. So the aim is to like you want to be you want to be bulletproof. You want to be able to do what you do without people trying to take you down because people will try and take you down, but you want to be like in the middle on the fence, like you can't take me down, like you're glass proof. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah, and
could you.
feeling so. Oh, sorry.
It's like we feel guilty how we want money, but then we realize everything in life is money. But you forget about the fact we want money to do also great things. But then the guilt comes in how we want to be a millionaire. And it's like, well, you were spiritual and yogi and not making money, or you are like pick and choose. It's like, no, it's not about pick and choosing. This is how life works. So to stop me from feeling guilty, it's like I'll make the money myself. I'll buy my £20 million house, my jet, and my boat with the money I've earned, and then the donations can be for the philanthropy work. So no one can be like, you shouldn't be spending that on this because you got to cover yourself. It's just how life works. People will treat you down.
Yes, yeah, and even with that thought that people will take us down, I don't necessarily resonate with that because I mean I know that there will always be obstacles, but I like to believe that everyone is helpful and that the more love I put out, like inside and that I resonate with, that I will attract around me. And in regards to the donations, I resonate with you with the flights as well. And a commitment I made to myself since April this year is to donate 10% of all the money I receive for the rest of my life. And so
That's
it's
cool.
it's yeah, it's been nice. I've it's only been a few months of that, or like I guess April, I guess 1 month, and I've donated to like Venezuelan kids and just like one of my friends. I just gave her some money because I felt like she needed it, and just like all of these different things. So I think having that basis of like, okay, a millionaire, that'll be what, 100,000, and then 100,000 that'll be 10,000, and then I also feel like the more we give, the more we will receive as well, and that it's me giving to you. You are an aspect of myself. You're a projection. You're a reflection. You're a mirror. You're an extension of source energy, and so me giving to you is essentially giving to myself as well. And that's something I view with my healings too. Like anybody who's attracted into my life for me to help heal, there's something in me that is being healed as well. So I'm honored anytime I have an opportunity to serve.
Yeah, that's the most amazing thing. Like, for example, you go out there and, like, make say a well or whatever, which costs a lot of money, right? So you can see you're down 100 grand, but then somebody sees that and they say, no, you stay with me in my hotel. I'll pay for your food. I'll cook every night. Okay, so each night would have cost say £30 for the food. So I've made £30 by saving 30 quid. Hotel money adds up. So you've received money in the form of service. So it hasn't cost me all this money. It's cost nothing. So when you give and don't expect to receive, people want to give. That could be, as I said, feeding you, doing something for you, kicking the kid out from the airport. So that all costs money. So you get it back immediately,
Mhm.
and it's not even about the money. It's about when you put energy out, energy comes back, and that is why, honestly, when I was 21, I did this challenge where I was just buying my friends everything. I was paying for their food, paying for their drink. And what's so incredible is, for example, let's just say the Chinese takeaway was 30 quid. I would say, no, let's just say it was £35, whatever. Right? I pay for the Chinese. Each person would give me, say, 5 quid. I'd end up making 50 because they didn't have change on them, right? So, do you know what I mean?
Mm.
They didn't have change to give me the exactly £35.60. So I bought the whole thing. They all gave me, say, £5. To them, it's only like a pound extra, keep the change. But there's 8 people. I made 8 quid. So it's like I
Wow.
gave out 35 quid and I received £10 extra back. That is phenomenal. And it's like if you go to the pub and be the first person to buy the round of drinks, everyone for the rest of the night is going to buy you the drinks. Okay, you need to be the
Mm.
first to give because as you get through the night, people get drunk and they like buy me drinks, mate, buy me drinks, and you feel pressured. And it's like, hang on a sec, I bought the first round. Oh, come on, mate, I'll buy next one. Whereas if they are aware you've already bought the drinks, they won't be asking you. And then they'll be like, here, bear have some drinks, mate, have some peanuts, have some crisps, go on, go on, go on. Wow, that saved me £3 for the peanuts, £3 for the crisps. Are you sure, buddy? Yeah, yeah, go on. So the power of giving first, you will always get back. Always.
I love those stories. That's so special that you've been able to witness that in your reality. That's
Yeah,
really
I
beautiful.
experimented with all this shit. Like I used to go clubbing by myself, of course, when I was building my confidence, and I used to find pound coins all over the floor. So entry was 5 quid, petrol was say 5 quid, kebab afterwards 5 quid. I'd go to the club, and I'd find £25 in coins on the floor. So my whole night is paid for. I made £10. I used to do it every single, literally, I used to go four nights a week. I used to make like £100 in a week just by doing it. And then I used to go to the casino afterwards with the belief that I'd already won, and then money would come in, and it would come 150 quid. And I used to live off that. Like, I had no job. I was just in this flow state of thought, action, thought, action, thought, action. There'd be a homeless guy. I'd give him money, make him a sandwich. It was just this constant flow. And I used to be like, I'm going to find money tonight. And I'd be on the floor. There'd be a £5 note. I was guided around the club. I'd be
Mm.
like, universe, find me money. And I'd get the urge to go to the toilet, go over there, money on the floor. £5 there, £2, £3, £1. Sit at the bar. These drunk people dropping all their coins. I'd be swooping like a bird. Caca! Pound. Caca! £5. And then I'd be like, buddy, let me get you a drink. Oh, are you sure, bro? Honestly, let me get you a drink. I'm using his own fiver to get him a drink, right? And then what he does is he then bought me an actual drink costing £5. So I saved myself £5 by buying you a drink with the £5 you dropped on the floor, or the collective £5 from each pound coin. That's what I used to do. I used to find pound five coins on all over the floor. I used to go up to a girl and be like, "Can I get you a drink?" Or I used to go up to a guy and be like, "Bro, can I get you a drink?" Random person, yeah. Cheers, bro. Cheers. And I get him a drink, and then he get me a drink. It's fucking incredible. It's secret
Yeah.
power, no joke. Secret power. The universe works. I've not spoken about this because I haven't really been thinking about it, but it's a secret power, man. It really is. It's a trusting that if you do this, it will come. It's a power, honestly.
Wow, that's so beautiful, and especially just doing it out of the pure, not even expectation, but then you ended up learning that you, in some ways, can expect a return, although just giving freely just to give, and then
No matter what I did, buying the drinks at the bar, giving money to the homeless guy, buying the takeaway for my friends, buying the first round of drinks, I always made more money. Like as I said, they would like keep the change. It's only a pound, but 8 people did that, 8 quid. I kept. It's like if you buy the drinks every weekend and you keep a pound at a time, 8.60 and 24, it's 30 quid a month. Fucking hell, I could buy. It's honestly, it's incredible.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Do you are any other secrets coming to mind?
I mean, I haven't got any friends. I said goodbye to all my friends 7 years ago because we weren't on the same page. So I haven't been going out of any friends for 7 years. Like I said goodbye to them all 7 years ago, and because I haven't got myself out there to make new people like you on the same page, I'm just a monk in the forest looking at the berries right
Mm.
now until another monk comes up and it's like, "Come to my Messiah," and then we join together. Any other stories? Um, yeah, once I was at Burger King and there was a pound coin with the R on it, and then I went to the bowling alley and there was another pound coin with a B on it. So the same person did the same journey, went to Burger King, went to the bowling alley because it was R on the B. What's more incredible is that all the pound coins in the cashier, which he could have chosen, he gave me the one with the R, also with the B, and it was the R and B, the music. So out of all the coins, they chose the R. Why? Because my thought was out in the universe that, I got a coin with a B, and then the one he was like, you resonate, like, you choose the one that feels right, and he picked the one with the R, and it was that. I mean, and I was playing pool, and I was potting every ball every single second. I wasn't even planning where I was gonna shoot this ball. I was just wherever it was like the moon. When the moon pivoted, I pivoted with it. So rather than planning where to shoot and where to pot, I literally was just going around the table in pivot mode. Wherever it stopped, I smacked the ball and three used to go in every single time. And it was like, how is this happening? How am I just hitting the ball and they're all going in? But yet when I try and make it go in, and I realize there is a power in this universe that no one has a clue. And I was in flow state. I was going through green lights one by one. I was honestly, I was thinking of people and I'd see them in a like second afterwards. Oh, it was amazing. I haven't been back to that flow state of consciousness, and I'm getting back there right now because it seems to be when money is coming into my life, it does something to my energy. It only happens when I'm making money. Hence why I was making money going to the club and going to the casino
Mm.
afterwards. Not only was I in flow state of everything I want's happening, Dad, I'm going to go to the club, make 20 quid, watch this. And it was happening, but I was making money, which was raising my vibration. So as you were saying, we're all this one energy, we're all the same energy. It's just different levels of the vibration. Anyone can get to my state, and anyone can get to your state. You're going to get to my state. People who are say the negative, depressed state in their head, they can heal themselves, and they will get to our state. It might take a long time, but anyone who heals their past, has a good diet, has good sleep, has good love and sex, they can all get to the same level.
Yes, and I feel you with the money because it it's security, it's safety, it's comfort. However, I feel when we establish like the uncondition of it, like the vibrational frequency, the emotion, that the conditions must come. Versus if we focus on a condition of money, of whatever, then conditions are so flaky, and to calibrate to them, it's not stable. And so my main focus lately has been to calibrate to my inner being, because even with friends or with my family or people around me, it's not necessarily feels like a reflection of my true inner being and that true love reflected all around me. So my main focus has been just completely viewing myself as emotional and vibrational rather than any of the physical manifestations. Because even with quantum physics, the physical is only 0.0000001%, and it's all like over 99% potential energy. And it can all, anything can change, any money can come into our life this very moment if we allow it. And I believe it's all just everything that we want, even a desire to enter into our consciousness. By the time it enters into our consciousness, it's done. It's in its full manifested form, and it's only us like releasing the resistance to it.
Yeah, it's like what's interesting is when you think about something and let it go, it comes. But if you don't think about it, it doesn't. So you have to acknowledge that thought so the frequency goes out. Like, for example, if I want 20 quid or whatever, my neighbour will say, "Do you want to cut my grass for 20 quid?" And it's like he's never done that before. You know, that stuff used to
Mhm.
happen. Not so much anymore because I've moved on, but stuff like that used to happen. Like, do you want to cut the grass for 20 quid? So yeah, it's amazing. Right, I need to go to the toilet, and it's a good time to end on this high. Plug anything you want to plug, website, social medias, whatever you want to promote right now.
Okay, yeah. I'm on Instagram at marie.gabrielleporter with two underscores at the end.
Anything else?
And I'm a pranic energy healer. I'm studying behavioral neuroscience. I want to help people with the power of their mind and healing and just help uplift others and myself and follow along in my journey, and I'll share what resonates with me and what I've learned, and hopefully it can help others too.
Okay, I'm gonna press stop. Wait there, and I'll say goodbye. Right there.